All right, so today we have a couple things going on. We are doing a detail on a mobility van. We're doing one of our big full services on that. We are also going to be going to another car meet today. Hopefully there's a decent turnout and we can get a stand set up on that one. But yeah, so I'm gonna go load all of my equipment up into my car and we're gonna get going for the day. All right, so a couple things on it. For the most part, this is just going to be a maintenance wash on the interior and exterior. It's not really beaten up really all that bad. We're just gonna be cleaning her up real quick. Normally, the service that I'm running on this would be about $250, but because there's some extenuating circumstances with this, we're gonna be dropping the cost to the customer to by $100. That being said, we're gonna get started on this exterior real quick. All right, so the exterior of the van is done. We are now going to start busting through the inside. A couple things to note. This is one of those cars where when you spray it down, more dirt just magically appears out of all the crevices. So we're probably going to go back after we're done doing the inside and spray it down one more time just to make sure that we get everything off that we can. So yeah, let's go get this interior taken care of. Okay, so having used P&S's new Express Sidekick scrubber just on this first half of this vehicle, I would say if you can get your hands on one, do so. This is honestly one of the best scrub pads I've ever used for interiors. It's very, very similar to the Scrub Ninja, like I said in the last video. The main thing that I think makes this a little bit better is the size. It's a little bit bigger. You can cover a little bit more surface area a little bit faster. I noticed that the pocket for your hand kind of stretches out over time, and so it kind of starts rotating, so that benefit kind of is a little bit lost, at least for me. That might just be because my hand is as big as the mitt. If you have smaller hands, that might be a little bit better. But yeah, all in all, definitely would recommend getting your hands on one of these if you can. So we missed the back half of the interior because my camera overheated, so that's fun. I really need to figure out how to deal with that. So the only thing we have left is exterior glass, and it's all good to go. So I'm gonna bust that out real quick. So we are back home. The customer was actually really satisfied with the job we did. Came out really nice. It actually made it to where the vehicle was actually functional. Before we cleaned it, they felt a little bit uncomfortable with using the vehicle, just because they had just bought it and they needed a mobility van so that they could get around, but it was so dirty, to them at least, that they felt that it was unsafe to do so. So I'm glad that we could clear that up for them. Just to touch on something really quick, like I said earlier, The service that I provided for them, normally I would charge $250 for. I ended up only charging them $150. The reason being is they just recently got to a point where they needed to have a mobility van to get around. They can't really get around on their own right now. And for me personally, I don't like the idea of them coming to me needing my help and me just draining as much money out of their pockets as possible. They needed help, and I'm gonna help them out. And if that hurts my bottom line a little bit to do so, then I'm gonna do that. Personally, I don't like going out of my way to focus purely on the profit of my business. I would rather be a decent human being and a good person and help those in need. And like, I easily could have charged $250 for that service. Realistically, I could have charged $300 to $400 for it. I'm not gonna do that. That rubs me the wrong way. It feels slimy to me. It feels very much like, it feels kind of like someone going to you for help and you just being like, okay, let me figure out how I can make as much profit off of them as possible. I don't like viewing people that way. I'm not going to view people that way, so I'm going to go out of my way to help people whenever they need it. If that ends up hurting my business a little bit here and there, then so be it. I'd rather be a good person than a successful businessman. That being said, we're kind of just hanging out for a little bit for the rest of the day up until around 6:30. That's when the Drive 44 meet is tonight. We're gonna have a little station set up there. Hopefully we'll be able to get some footage of that today. If not, this will be followed up probably with just a recap of what the meet was like and then a quick like rundown of what was there. But yeah, let's keep on going with the rest of the day. All right, so nothing really major happened at the meet this week. So here's a quick little recap of all of the vehicles that were there.
I'm like, I can't drive this thing. Yeah, no. He goes, yes, I can fit in one of those. Stop it.
All right, and with that, the day is done. So that's it. That's the video. Remember, every hero is the villain of someone else's story. And with that, have a good rest of your day. Peace. I really need to take better care of myself. I'd be doing these videos and not eating all day.